I'm meteorologist Monica Woods with a look at our changing weather pattern with our regional headlines. That includes the coast dealing with morning fog. We'll have a fall feel in the forecast for the valley. Still hazy for the foothills. For the Sierra, limited storms heading into the weekend. We've been dealing with a lot of storm activity. In fact, for the Plumas National Forest, still dealing with those lightning sparked fires. You can see how those lightning strikes tend to hit some of the taller objects and then unfortunately spread some of those flames. 40+ lightning sparked fires reported by the U.S. Forest Service just in a period of 2 days. Now, we still have the potential for those thunderstorms into our Friday, but it's really going to be quite spotty. By Saturday, this all starts to shift its way east, giving California quite a break, a much needed break as well. Lake Tahoe has been dealing with hazy skies for the past several days, just that kind of gloom in the distance there on the perimeter of the lake with the smoky skies kind of hanging in low. We've got several fires burning, including all the lightning sparked fires, plus the Garnet fire, which is still burning in Fresno County, putting off a lot of smoke. Tends to settle into the lowest elevations overnight and then kind of lift a bit during the day. But the pattern shift is also going to change how that develops during the afternoon over the weekends. So looking at our high resolution futurecast, we've got the fog along the coast for Friday. Once we get into the afternoon, some of that starts to shift off, and you'll notice it's going to be very spotty showers, nothing widespread like how we started off this week. And then by Saturday, more clouds coming into the forecast, and we've got an even bigger change developing in the deeper forecast as we start to see that high pressure ridge really starting to weaken its grip across the west coast. It's going to stay on the east side of the crest here in the Intermountain West, whereas this low pressure system, it's going to start moving in, and by early next week, we're going to bring in a slight chance for showers for the midweek forecast. Looking at our Friday forecast, though, we've got highs near 80 for the Tahoe Basin, 80s to near 90 down low for the foothills. As we move our way southward, looking like a nice wrap up to the week. For most areas, really not dealing with a whole lot of thunderstorm action. Yosemite up to 83 for that Friday forecast, starting a little bit on the cooler side of things for the central San Joaquin Valley into the 90s, including places like Fresno as well as Merced. Dealing with the air quality issues, though, unfortunately, with that fire burning very close to the Fresno County area, just on the east side of that. For Friday's temperatures along the central coast, we're in the 60s and 70s as we move inland. Again, the cooler air mass starting to impact us all. So the San Joaquin Valley even getting out of those triple digits. We're in the 60s and 70s along the coast for the Bay Area. Much cooler conditions as we head towards the northern part of the coast, especially along the northwest coast where we have highs only reaching the 60s. Socked in with fog here. Fort Bragg only 63. Even for the northern end of the Sacramento Valley, highs will only be reaching the low to mid 90s. And again, we'll track that slight chance of a thunderstorm, but overall it's going to be very spotty, and most of the action will be east of the crest. So for the Central Valley through the capital region, highs are in the 80s to right around the low 90s. Normally, we're 91 this time of year. Our extended forecast includes much less thunderstorm action for the Tahoe Basin over the weekend. We'll continue to monitor the smoky skies. By next week, we're starting to draw in a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms back into the outlook. For the foothills, a cooler weekend outlook. Highs will be in the 70s and 80s. And for the coast, again, a lot of fog to start us off for the morning with partial afternoon clearing. Highs will be in the 60s and 70s. Looking at our extended forecast for the valley, we are dropping out of the 90s and 100s into the 80s for the upcoming weekend, and we get even cooler next week. Again, slight chance of showers coming in by the early and middle part of next week. We'll see drier conditions for the end of the week, but no huge warm up in this forecast. We're generally staying below average with that slight chance of rain. We'll be tracking it heading into next week.